is get up one time and then just slap the out of
The
him.
one thing I just don't like, and I don't care what people say, I feel like there's a lot of hate on Caitlin Clark, and I think because she's white.
When NBA legends speak, the world leans in. Not because they have to, but because they've lived through the storms, lifted trophies under the brightest lights, and stood in the fire of criticism only the greatest can endure. They've seen dynasties rise and fall, controversies that shook the sport, and moments so iconic they're etched into basketball history forever. So when those very same legends, men who shaped the NBA's identity, start weighing in on Caitlin Clark, you immediately know this isn't just casual chatter. This is the beginning of a much larger conversation. And it's not about safe, PR-approved compliments or generic sound bites meant to make headlines for a day. No. This is about unfiltered truths, honest, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes even explosive. Because when figures like Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, George Gervin, and others start backing Clark and openly calling out the hate, something fundamental has shifted. These aren't social media analysts. They're not bloggers or sideline commentators chasing clicks. These are the very architects of the game. And when they speak, their words carry the kind of weight that shakes leagues to their foundation. What they're saying isn't just applause, it's pressure. Pressure on the WNBA, pressure on the media, and pressure on the players who've turned Caitlin into a target instead of embracing her as the future. Because here's the reality, if the league doesn't listen, if it continues down this road of silent tolerance for the way she's being treated, it risks losing the one thing it has been chasing desperately for decades: lasting relevance. And the legends aren't tiptoeing around it. They're drawing comparisons. They're naming names. Some already label her the Tiger Woods of women's basketball. Others point out bluntly that if Caitlin's not on the court, fans aren't even tuning in. And then there are those who dive even deeper, pulling out the uncomfortable truths no one dared to mention until now. Race, jealousy, bitterness, all bubbling beneath the surface. And when you add in the words of Magic, Barkley, Kevin Garnett, and others, it becomes crystal clear. The conversation isn't just about Caitlin Clark anymore. It's about the league itself. Before we start video, please consider subscribing this channel. This motivates me to work hard and serve you better video. Thanks. Let's start with Jeff Teague. If you've ever listened to him, you know he doesn't speak like a polished commentator. He doesn't filter his takes or dress them up with fancy words. Jeff sounds like your cousin at the cookout after a game. Blunt, uncut, and brutally honest. So when Caitlin Clark's name came up, he didn't bother with a safe, neutral answer. He delivered a reality check.
Ain't nobody gonna watch basketball if she ain't playing.
Ain't nobody watching basketball if she ain't playing. That one sentence cut deeper than most of the polished think pieces floating around right now. He wasn't speculating. He wasn't exaggerating. He was telling the raw truth. And it stung. Think about that for a moment. A former NBA All-Star admitting flat out that one player is single-handedly carrying the viewership of an entire league. That's not hype. That's not marketing. That's reality. And here's the kicker.
She the best.
She's the best ever, bro. I don't care, bro. She's the best ever, bro.
So she gonna be like LeBron with the stats.
Teague didn't say it to boost her ego. He said it because he knows what genuine star power looks like. He's played with it. He's guarded it. He's been in locker rooms with names that drew millions of eyes every night. And what he sees in Caitlin? That same spark. She isn't just lifting the ratings, she is the ratings. And then he doubled down. Jeff Teague didn't just compliment Caitlin Clark. He elevated her into a different stratosphere. He essentially anointed her. Now, let's pause here. This isn't casual banter in a barbershop. This is a man who's been in the league, who's faced All-Stars and Hall of Famers, essentially placing Caitlin in GOAT conversations just 2 years into her professional career. It's not just about her box scores, it's about what those numbers represent. The trajectory of the game is tilting toward her. Teague isn't predicting mild success. He's predicting dominance, the kind measured not only in wins and banners, but in billion-dollar television deals, endorsements, and cultural impact. And what makes his words resonate even more? He wasn't smiling when he said it. He wasn't joking. He believed every single word. Teague is not known for handing out loose compliments. This is the same man who once dismissed Kawhi Leonard after guarding him, saying he didn't think Kawhi was that great. Brutal honesty is his brand. So when someone like Teague says Caitlin Clark could be the LeBron James of women's basketball, you stop whatever you're doing and listen, because that's not just high praise, that's prophecy. But Teague isn't the only one. The next voice comes from Michael Thompson, a two-time NBA champion, the father of Klay Thompson, and a man who has spent his entire life around the greatest of the greats. Michael has been in locker rooms with Magic. He's gone to battle against legends like Jordan and Kareem. He's lived among superstars. Very little phases him, and yet, when Caitlin Clark walked past him, he froze.
Indy, I didn't care about that. The only thing I remember about Indy is when I was leaving Cambridge Arena in a loading dock, Caitlin Clark walked right by me, and I froze. I didn't say hello to her. How about that? My favorite basketball player outside of Klay was right there in front of me. There she was, and I said, no, I can't do it. But getting back to your question, you're right. That's what I remember most about Indiana. Caitlin Clark was right there next to me.
Michael Thompson, who never choked in front of Jordan, who never blinked around Magic, suddenly found himself speechless. And that silence said more than 1,000 words. That wasn't just respect, that was awe. Michael wasn't reacting to a talented young player. He was reacting to a force of nature, something cultural, something bigger than basketball. Caitlin Clark isn't simply playing in the WNBA, she's reshaping it. She's redefining what it means to be a star in this league. And when the man who raised Klay Thompson, one of the greatest shooters the world has ever seen, calls Caitlin Clark his favorite player, that's not hype, that's confirmation. She has broken through every layer of the basketball universe, from men's to women's, from fans to players, from current stars to legends of the game. She is being embraced across every spectrum. Then there's Magic Johnson. Magic knows what it means to carry an entire league on your shoulders. He did it in the 80s. He did it with style, with pressure, with enemies waiting to tear him down, and with fans hanging on to his every move. He understands the weight of being more than just a player, of being a symbol. So when Magic talks about Caitlin Clark, he isn't just giving her flowers. He's putting her in context. And coming from him, that's actually a higher compliment than anything else.
They're going to be tested by these incredible women who've been in the league for a long time. Caitlin is the most popular WNBA player, but she's not the best at this time. Just like Larry and I were not the best when we entered the league. We became the best later on by our play. Caitlin still has to play great to become the best WNBA player.
He isn't saying she's popular. He's saying her path already mirrors that of the greats, like himself, like Larry Bird. Caitlin isn't being graded on a curve. She's not being treated as a novelty or a separate category because she's in the WNBA. Magic is holding her to the exact same standard that he and Bird once carried. That's how massive her presence is. And the message from Magic is clear. Keep going, the stage is yours, now claim the crown. But not every legend delivered their take with that same calmness. Some came out swinging. Reggie Miller, one of the most ruthless shooters, one of the coldest trash talkers the game has ever seen, isn't known for sugarcoating anything. So when he saw the way Caitlin Clark has been getting hit with cheap shots, flagrant fouls, and targeted harassment on the court, he didn't say, give it time. He didn't say, she'll adjust. He said essentially, fight back.
Now, what I would love Caitlin to do is get up one time and then just slap the out of her.
That wasn't Reggie being funny. That wasn't him playing up his trash talk persona. That was frustration. And not frustration from Caitlin, but from Reggie himself. Because he sees what's happening. The league has a superstar on its hands, someone carrying ratings, bringing in fans, raising the profile of the sport. And instead of protecting her, they've let her take hit after hit. And Reggie's message was simple, enough is enough. Then came Robert Horry. Now, Horry isn't one to speak often, but when he does, it's usually sharp, measured, and brutally honest. So when Shaquille O'Neal said Caitlin Clark needed to wait her turn, Horry didn't waste time.
Shaq said he loved Caitlin Clark, but, quote, she needs to wait her turn. Do you agree with the idea that great players, no matter how great they are, need to wait their turn? This was from Ben.
Hey, first of all, let's start off with Shaq. You ain't wait your turn.
He didn't try to soften it. He detonated the entire idea in one sentence. It wasn't just a rebuttal. It was a statement to the entire league. Caitlin doesn't need to wait. She doesn't need to earn respect over a decade. She's already the reason the cameras are rolling. She's already the face selling tickets. Horry has seen stars rise. He's seen true greatness up close. And when he looks at Caitlin, he doesn't see someone who should be patient. He sees someone whose time is now. And then Paul Pierce added his perspective. Pierce knows pressure. He lived in it. He thrived under it. But even he admits, Caitlin Clark is carrying a type of weight that even he never faced. Think about that. A finals MVP, a Hall of Famer, saying that there's no precedent for what Caitlin is dealing with right now. Endorsements, ratings, headlines. expectations, all landing on her shoulders overnight. Every player in the league watching her every move. And on top of that, race narratives, locker room jealousy, the WNBA's silence, and endless cameras tracking her every step. Pierce wasn't calling her perfect. He wasn't saying she's already accomplished it all. What he made clear was this: nobody in history has had to carry this much, this fast. And Caitlin Clark is still standing tall. And finally, there's Matt Barnes. If there's one thing Barnes is known for, it's his honesty. On the court, off the court, on podcasts, on live TV, he doesn't dance around the truth. He says what others are afraid to admit. So when it came to Caitlin Clark, he didn't just defend her. He dropped a truth bomb that cut through all the noise. He said plainly what others only whisper.
I think she has the Tiger Woods effect, the way he put golf fans in a craze. Whether you're a golf fan or not, you tuned in and you wanted to learn about the game because he was so incredible. I think she has that effect. The one thing I just don't like, and I don't care what people say, I feel like there's a lot of hate on Caitlin Clark, and I think because she's white.
A lot of this hate is racial. No coded language, no soft edges, just the truth. Because Caitlin isn't the first flashy guard. She isn't the first scorer with swagger. She isn't the first to have confidence. But she is the first white woman to be marketed as the face of the WNBA from day one. And for some, that's uncomfortable. Barnes wasn't saying it to stir drama. He said it because it's the truth. And truths like that don't need defending. So step back and look at the full picture. NBA legends, the very people who know what greatness looks like, who know what pressure feels like, who've carried leagues themselves, are all uniting around Caitlin Clark. And their message is clear. She isn't just a good player. She isn't just popular. She is the face of the sport. The one player with the power to drag the WNBA into true cultural relevance. And the question now isn't whether she can handle the spotlight. She already has. The real question is, can the league handle her? Because if the WNBA can't adapt, if it doesn't protect her, if it continues to let jealousy and silence fester, then all of this momentum could vanish. But if they embrace her, if they protect their star, if they build around her, if they recognize that legends and fans alike are calling her the future, then Caitlin Clark may not only reshape the WNBA, she might just redefine women's sports entirely.